Cause I got my friends. They laugh when I'm not that funny. Don't try to make me be somebody. Cause if they did, then they're not my friends. Don't care if I'm flying first class or if I got a brand new bus pass.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Friendsday Wednesday. Y'all, today we are talking about something that is important for all of us, health and wellness. And today we have a really special guest that we all will want you to get to know and get to learn about a little more. But first, y'all know we got to pray in. And today, Janae is going to pray us in. Take it away, Janae.
Lord God, we thank you. We thank you for this opportunity once again to come together as friends. Lord God, we pray, Lord God, that our conversations honor you and that everything that we say and do bring you glory. We ask for a special blessing upon this time. We thank you for each viewer. In the mighty name of Jesus, we thank you and pray. Amen.
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 And God, we would also like to pray for Rosie, who is under the weather today. I
Yes.
pray that you heal her and just give her comfort in her ailments. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen. All right. So y'all know today is a favorite episode of mine because we're talking about health and wellness. And I had to bring one of my girls in to have the conversation with me. So y'all, I am going to introduce to you Sierra Walker, also known as the Fitness Style. Y'all, she's a wife, she's a mom of two, a certified health coach, and now a licensed real estate agent in South Carolina. She's all about helping women balance life and prioritize their health and wellness. So if y'all will please give a welcome to Sierra. Hey,
Hi,
girl.
Hey,
Sierra.
hey.
Thank you guys so much for having me, and congratulations on just starting this together as women. I'm so excited for you guys and happy for you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
So Sierra, we just gonna get right into this. You know, it's a funny story about how you and I met, but you were definitely into health and wellness before we
Yeah.
met. So please tell us, how did you start your journey into health and wellness?
Well, growing up, I've always been pretty active in high school, playing sports, just living that lifestyle of just, like I said, playing sports. But I didn't really take the nutrition and the health part really serious until I got a little bit older, and started learning how important food and nutrition was. And then I think I ran into our coaches, like Jimmy Leach from Columbia, South Carolina, who kind of taught in a little more in depth as far as like competing into bikini competitions, fitness competitions, and that's really when I took it a little bit more serious. Is when I was introduced into that whole different world of competing in the health and fitness world, and then I was introduced to you, Anita, from Valencia. One
Mhm.
of our good friends, Valencia, introduced me to Anita, and then once me and Anita kind of connected, it was kind of like a wrap after that. We kind of just took over Columbia with a lot of things. So
You are right. I miss those days. And just in knowing that and now, like, you know, we're not those young ladies, those young women that we were back then. You know, we're moms now, we're entrepreneurs now, we're working in corporate America and doing different things. What would you say health and wellness means to you in this season of life?
Ooh, so with me being a coach strictly, I work directly with women only. Just knowing that how important it is with our busy schedules. And my goal right now and my purpose, I really focus on the balance of, we have our hands so full when it comes to being a wife, being a mom, working, running errands, being here, being there. We always tend to put ourselves last. And I'm teaching a lot of women, and I'm just learning more and more about women every single day. Is that we don't focus on ourselves at all because we want to be so perfect and so right for everybody else and make sure everybody else is happy. And then when we finally sit down and be like, wow, I didn't do anything for myself. Like I'm exhausted, I'm beat, I haven't even eaten today. So my goal is to teach women how important it is to find that balance and to pour into yourself first so you can be that perfect person that your kids need you to be, that your spouse needs you to be, that you can be at work. Because if you're not happy with yourself, your energy that you give off is not going to be right for your kids. You're going to be snappy, you're going to be moody. I could go on in days, but I'm just saying, like, we have to like realize how important it is to just take care of ourselves. Is that if that's just waking up an hour extra early to get in a workout, go for a walk, meal prep your foods, and read your Bible, just pour into yourself first so that you can give that positive energy to the next person that you're going to have to help, whether it's your kids, your significant your other at work, whatever it is. But right now, for me as a woman, being all of those things I just mentioned, I'm finding that it's a lot of women like myself that don't know how to balance it, or just need somebody to just show them or be that example of how to do that. And that's what I find, and I really, really enjoy helping women right now do that, find that balance in life when it comes to taking care of ourselves first.
So, what are some practical ways that you can share with us that how we can find balance? Because as you said, I mean, we are so busy. When it comes with work, with the kids. Some of us have little kids, and we all know when we have little kids, that's even another challenge because they take so much of our time. And then our spouses, right? And then there is also our spiritual life. You mentioned reading the Bible. So it's like, what are some practical ways to create that balance?
Well, first it's a mind thing. Everything starts with the mindset. You really, really have to say, this is what I want to do. I want to change my ways because I'm just not happy with the way I'm living and how I'm feeling. So mentally, if you're not there and you're not changing it and wanting it for yourself, then it's not going to happen. So right then and there, you have to make the decision to like say, okay, this is what I'm going to have to do, because I want to live better. I want to feel better. I want to make sure I'm doing all of the things that I need to do, in order for me to just be happy with myself first. So once you make that decision and mentally to like make it happen, getting up, like I said, getting up extra early. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, I get up around 4:35. I mean, that's just because I have kids in there in sports. So once I get off of work, it's go from there. And then once I'm done with them, I'm tired. So getting up an extra hour early, before my job starts at 8 o'clock, so I can get my workout in, I can read my scripture, I can do my personal development. And that's another thing, personal development, not just reading the Bible is amazing, but that's your spiritual development. You also have to do your personal development. Those are totally two different things. And I find that a lot of people aren't doing that because you have to grow as an individual too. And we're not always surrounded by positive people to help us grow, personally as well. So reading those personal development books, finding different ways to grow. But like I said, starting with the mindset, waking up, if it's just 30 minutes extra early to get on a treadmill or something, but just moving your body. A lot of women don't realize how just changing your environment, getting outside in the sun and just walking. I'm not asking nobody to do what me and Anita used to do back in the day, pop squats and all of that kind of stuff. We're older now. So if it's just 10 to 15 minutes or 20 minutes of walking somewhere or finding something that you can put on YouTube, stop making the excuses, because as women, our main excuse is, I don't have the time, I'm tired. Once you change that and get that out of your head, YouTube has so many different things you can watch on TV. They have an app on there. Well, you can Google walking on YouTube and you can walk with somebody on YouTube in your living room. Just moving your body and getting your blood flowing is just going to change your mindset, your mood, So those are just small little things that you do. Getting up early, getting in a little bit of exercise, pouring into yourself personally and spiritually. Those are just the beginning stages of, the steps that I think everybody just needs to start out with.
Yeah, I think, the funny thing is here when you were like, I'm not saying do what me and Anita used to do. Child, Anita ain't doing what we what we used to do, right? And I think one of the most important things that I had to learn when life changed in that space, and you do get older and things with your body change. Like, for me, it was planned to have another child, but I was more ready than prepared. And I thought I was going to be extremely prepared because I didn't have two other kids, but life in a different way. And I think having somebody to hold you accountable, whether that is a health coach, whether that is a friend, because oftentimes it's hard to hold yourself accountable in a space where you're like, you know what, tomorrow I'm going to do this, this, and that. And then tomorrow I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna do it. But if you have like that partner, that health coach, or somebody to say, no, you said this is what you were gonna do, I need you to get out and do it. That's extremely helpful, but also having that mind to know this is the best investment you'll make, right? Mm-hmm. This is the place that we're gonna reside in for our entire life. If you ain't taking care of this home, how you expect anything that falls with under a home to be taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
So I think you made a really good point. And Keisha, I'm going to pick on you because I know we talk about eating clean and working out. And, you're like moms. take care of yourself. And I listen to that so well. So I'm looking forward to hear what you have to say about this, because I know it's near and dear to you as well.
It is. It is near and there. And I like what Sierra said as far as it's the mindset and just making the decision. And I think that was the hardest part for me was
Mhm.
making the decision. And when I started really focusing on it, I had 3 kids, active kids at home, and they were all in activities. And it just got to the point where I was just run down, and I had to realize that I had to take care of me, but I didn't realize the sacrifices that would need to be made, because what that meant was, like Sierra, now you're getting up 4:30 in the morning, which means you're sacrificing things in the evening that you used to do to wind down. Now you're shifting it. And then
Mhm.
say, okay, what am I willing to give up? Am I willing to give up scrolling, to 10 o'clock to make my bedtime 9 o'clock so I can be up by 4:30?
Yes.
And so it's the it was I thought you hit it on the head, is it's the mental shift, but it's also reminding yourself I'm worth it. Because if it seems too hard, it's like, this is too much. I don't want to plan. I don't like my, but I'm worth it,
Mhm.
because they're getting a better me in the process. And then once I continued to do that, I realized how good I felt. I realized that I had the energy, to say, okay, all right, you're going here, and I'm keep moving. I'm not trying to grab a bunch of coffee to drink and things like that. It's like, all right, I've invested enough in me, and now I have more to give out. But it wasn't easy. And it honestly, it took prayer. Like, God help me do this, because it's hard to because you think it's being selfish, but it's not.
Mhm.
You're really just taking care of yourself, but you're taking care of yourself for yourself and everyone around you. And I think that is just something that once you take the time to see the true benefits of, it's so worth it.
So,
Definitely.
y'all,
Totally
for
agree.
health and wellness, because this is the conversation that I have a lot when it comes to exercising and eating to be healthy, and the misconception that if you're small, that you don't need to exercise or you don't need to eat healthy. And what I looked at is early on, I was always a pretty small person, right? So I didn't focus on exercise and I didn't focus on eating healthy. I thought because, I was fairly small, I could eat what I wanted. I was very active, not exercising, but especially when I had my kids, like all of you mentioned, kind of constantly going and ripping and running and doing. As I've gotten older, and I believe my metabolism is slowing down, right? And I've started to pick up some weight. Even now, when I have the conversation with people about, hey, I need to eat healthy or I need to lose weight, they're like, you don't need to lose weight. You don't need to eat healthy. You don't need to exercise. And I think there's a thought process that you only need to exercise if you are a certain size. You only need to eat healthy if you are a certain size. And I think that's such a misconception, and people are having the wrong conversation, and the wrong narrative is being put out there, because being healthy should be the focus no matter what size you are.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Eating right, because that is important. But I don't know how many times I hear that, oh, you don't need to exercise, oh, you don't need to eat healthy. And I'm like, I do, because it's not about the size that I am. Now, it is partly about how I look in my clothes, but
Right.
but the focus is being able to go up a pair of steps without being out of breath, making sure that my mind is good, making sure that my body is good. And that could be, you can be a size 2 and be unhealthy. And I think
Absolutely.
people do not realize that you can be a size 5 and be unhealthy. Size doesn't mean healthiness. So can y'all just talk about that a little bit?
Yeah.
So
Go ahead, sir.
So for me, I totally agree with you. And it's not so much, and I'm realizing this too, the older I get as well. Like you said, exercising isn't just to get my body in the best shape and look the best that I want to be, but at this age, I'm 38, and I have so many people that I went to high school with that are having heart problems and heart strokes and heart attacks, and I'm like, that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? So right now, it's more so about conditioning your body. Like you said, if you have kids, you want to be able to go to all of their track meets, and you have little infants chase behind them, and you walk up the stairs with them. If you're going to basketball games, walk up all those, the Coliseum flights, all of those kind of things. Like you said, you could be a size 2 and be out of shape and be about to pass out once you get to the top of the stairs. So it's like, it's all about conditioning your body. Just, that's why I say it doesn't even matter if you're doing 10 to 15 minutes of just walking, condition your heart, condition your mind, all of that stuff, work your insides, and so I totally agree. And I hate the simple fact that also when it comes to nutrition, right now I'm hearing a lot of, oh, you're on a diet. No, I'm not on a diet. I've never been on a diet. I might have been on a diet back in the day when I tried to do the Beyonce lemonades and all of that kind of stuff when I didn't know anything. But now I'm eating the right way. I'm eating how everyone is supposed to be eating, and it's not a diet. It's just a healthier way of living. The way people frown upon those that choose to eat healthy is insane to me, but you have all of these medications that you're taking, and you're saying everything is hereditary, and high blood pressure to me is not really hereditary. You were just taught how to eat and live that way from your parents, and now it's being passed to you because you're repeating those same things that you were taught. So I feel I totally agree with you. Everybody, and the goal is to, help people learn the true value of exercise and what it really does for the body the older you get. And like you said, as you get older, your metabolism is slowing down. And the skinny people that were super skinny in high school are gaining weight because they still think they can live that same life that they did when they were in high school. And now it's, you got to eat. You got to eat certain ways. You got to eat multiple times a day, not one time a day. So it's a lot of things that the world is, like you said, they lack of knowledge.
And I think you said a diet to me is temporary, right? What you made was a lifestyle change, right? Mm-hmm. So that is a little bit more permanent. And when people are sporadically 5 days, 3 days, 1 week, that is a diet. When you're doing something more consistently, you're making a lifestyle change. And I think we have to make lifestyle changes, not just 5 days, 6 days.
It's my birthday coming up, so I need to lose 10 pounds for my birthday. We all guilty. We all guilty of that. I mean,
the summer, right? The summer, right? We got to get those beach bodies. Like,
I'm telling you,
and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, eating now, I think more than ever, is so glorified. People enjoy the titles of being foodies. They're doing these ASMR videos where they're eating so much unhealthy food, but it's the way that they're making money. It's the way that they're doing things. And unfortunately, people don't take health and wellness serious until they have to, right? Because now their health is at stake, And I'm gonna applaud my friend O'Dallas on this. Y'all, O'Dallas will tell y'all, so I ain't telling y'all nothing she wants herself. She don't like working out. She don't. But because my friend knows that it's important, she shows up, she works out, she complains, she works out, but she shows up, right? And I think that's the most important part, showing up, making sure you do what your body needs. Like you said, Sierra, 10 or 15 minutes outside getting the natural vitamin D that so many of us are lacking, right? And of course, COVID kind of changed things too. A lot of us work from home. We're sitting at our desk all day. When I worked in the office, I moved much more, and it wasn't intentionally, but now at home, I have to be intentional. It's important to be strategic with how we plan things out. We have to be intentional. Like you said, Keisha, put the phone down, stop scrolling. You can scroll while you walk, to be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Don't trip.
Exactly. You got to make concessions to do things the way that you need to do, but what's going to be the healthiest version for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And just because you don't like doing it, that's probably mean you need to, it's even more of a reason to do it. Get those friends, get those accountability partners, because if it's not something that you truly love doing, it's not easy to do. Dallas and Keisha are accountants. I have no desire to do anything with numbers in that space, but I hire the people to do it for me. When in health and wellness, you may not have the desire to figure out how to do meal plans or workouts, but you can hire the people, or like Sierra said, YouTube, Google, Chat GPT. It's available everywhere, and don't allow health and wellness to become something important to you, because now it's life and death.
Yeah.
And let it be made when you choose to, and you don't have to. Right?
Exactly.
You're choosing to make health and wellness a priority, and you don't have to because something has happened and now you're forced to
Yes.
focus on it.
I
And
think
I
having
don't know if you're about to say something. Sorry.
yeah, having an accountability partner is, I mean, it helped me tremendously. Like I appreciate Anita so much. She has no idea. I don't like working out, y'all. Um, but it's because probably I was one of those girls, super skinny in high school. Like I was 98 pounds until I had my first daughter. And so it's a blessing, right? But it's also um, I could eat anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, it's about being healthy. It's not about just being skinny because even I talked to Anita about this. I could be skinny fat, and that's how I consider myself. I got a lot of fat packets here and there, and it's not about looks. It's about my insides. You know,
Yeah.
am I healthy? Can I go for a long walk and not feel, like I'm gonna about to pass out? You know what I mean? Like, and being able to keep up with my kids when they have sports activities and things like that, right? So I do realize that I need it, even though I don't like it. So, um, you mentioned you can pay for somebody to do your finances, right? When it comes to fitness, you can pay for somebody to help you, but you still have to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big difference because um, you have to do something yourself. And it's a
Yeah.
mindset, like you said, like, okay, I need to do this. It's for me, it's my body, it's my health
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day. And nobody else can do it for you. They
Mm-mm.
can motivate you. What they say, you can bring the horse to water, but you cannot force them to drink it, right? Um, you have to put the effort, right?
Yeah.
So I see where a lot of you are talking about how it sounds like everyone here has done it. So let's talk about for people who are considering it and like, okay, I might be, you may be getting my attention. Let's be realistic with them and talk about some of the challenges that we faced and how we've gotten through those when we made that decision. Because once you make that decision, it's not just like all the pieces fall into place. I'm this new person. Like, let's realistically talk about the challenges.
Um,
I'm still in the challenge, right? So I'm not even gonna say
Never
that I'm
ends.
Let's
on
hear it.
the
Yes.
other side of the challenge. So I think I said before when we were talking about the perimenopause and menopause, eating for me is not an issue, right? That's not a thing for me. And the way I eat, um, to me, it is the exercise piece. So, but I'm not consistent in it, and I'm not as consistent as I should be.
um, for me, it's about community. And that's when it even started when I had Anita. Like we kind of fed off of each other. Anita mentioned accountability earlier. So surrounding yourself or create, if you don't even have that, create your own community, create your own, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't have that, accountability that they want, but go out and get it. There's so many different ways that you can find accountability partners or make your kids your accountability partner. But being surrounded by like-minded individuals really is what helps even me. I'm a coach and all of that, but I still need accountability at the end of the day. So I have to find ways and, create that accountability, whether I'm looking at other coaches or and call up, if you have that accountability partner, you need to find somebody that's going to allow you to be able to pick up the phone and call them about, look, I'm about to throw it all in today. I need help. I need to talk it out. You know what I'm saying? You need to be able to have that person you could depend on. And that's what something else that I love to provide is to my females is the community. I love being able to plug them into a community of just where they can just see that, oh, I'm not the only one that's pre-diabetic that's trying to change things, or I'm not the only one with high blood pressure trying to do this, or the only one that hates working out, because it's a lot of women that just, like she said, do not like working out, especially if I just got my hair done. I'm definitely not about to work out. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of women we're all the same when it comes to certain things. And we all, the goal, like you said, is to live a healthy lifestyle. So I'm really big on community and plugging into something that's going to keep you motivated at the end of the day. So
I would say one of my biggest challenges, you hit it, Sierra, the hair, was the sweating out the hair. That was a big challenge for me. And I wound up just cutting my hair. And that's one of the reasons why I am bald on two sides, is because that's the sacrifice I wanted to make. I want to keep working out. What can I do to make it easier? I'm not a hair person at all. And so that's one of the challenges that's how I overcame one of those challenges. Another challenge is I thought I could do it in the house. But when I started working out in the house, there's kids around, there's distractions. It's easier not to do it if I don't want to do it. So then I had to then make a financial sacrifice and say, this is going to cost me more because I need to go somewhere.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And so then it was a matter of, okay, what can we afford? And again, making yourself a priority in that, even if that means something else has to get sacrificed so I can afford this, again, I'm worth it. Um, and so that was, two of just the challenges that I had. So it just wasn't, oh, I'm going to do it and here we go. I also had to learn and to adjust when I realized something wasn't working.
Mhm.
The crazy thing is health and wellness has never been a challenge for me, right? So it's hard for me to speak from that place until recently. When I first started personal training, doing meal plans, I ate it, I slept it, like it was life. People would ask, Sarah, are y'all always in the gym? Y'all always working out?
We
We
slept
loved
in the
it.
gym sometimes on a little nap.
Yes,
Like it was
we
serious.
loved it. It was our life. And we were not living to eat. We were eating to live. We enjoy eating healthy when so many people would just frown on it like, oh, no, this is not ill for us. This is actually good to us. And I would have some clients, and honestly, I couldn't understand like why would you not want to come in here and work out? Like it feel good, you have mental clarity. Like I feel amazing when I start my day early and I work out. I never regret any of it, right? We used to open up the gym 4:35 in the morning. It would be somewhat of a struggle, but the return that we got from that was amazing. And after COVID and having a child, at the age that I did decide to have my last child, my body was like, yeah, girl, you weren't ready for this. This is different. And it did become a struggle. But I think the key thing is I had to be intentional. I had to reach out to people that I know that could hold me accountable. Sierra, I'm going to be in South Carolina this weekend. You free? Let's go for a walk. Let's go do a workout. When I'm in different states, let me see where I can work out at. Oh, Dallas, y'all pack y'all workout clothes because we probably going to work out when we in this other state. And even when you holding other people accountable, it's a way to hold yourself accountable too, because now they're looking for you to follow through on what you said you was going to do. So you can't back down on them either. So community is so important. I think community is important in every aspect of life. But if you're going to do well in health and wellness, especially if it's something that you don't like doing, as much as we know how important things are, it does not always mean it makes it easier for us to do it. You have to have some people that are going to surround you, that's rooting for you, not those that's frowning on the fact that you enjoy broccoli, you enjoy asparagus. Everybody don't eat it because they enjoy it. Some of us do eat it because we know this is what we have to do. But don't let people deter you to be like, you always working out. Why are you in the gym? Because I got this. If I'm gonna look like this, I gotta be in here.
Right.
That used to drive me crazy too when people be like, girl, you always in the gym. Why are you in here? It ain't nothing going on at home. I'm not running from nothing. I'm just trying to
Right.
get what
That's
to
the first
still
thing they want
run.
to say.
They would assume I could stay at the gym I used to be able to be in there for 3-4 hours. For one, I'm networking with people. I'm looking at people like, oh, I don't know if she's doing it right. Let me go over there and see how I can insert myself. And I'm a natural introvert, but in that space, I
Mhm.
thrive. I communicate. Like it's just it's my place to be. So I just had to put that out there. Like even if you don't like it, like get somebody else that do like it. Be very choosy of your friends to make sure you at least have one of those friends that's gonna hold you accountable. I mean, I do that in so many aspects. And I also wanted to piggyback. So y'all, after the conversation with menopause that we had last week, I'm like, you know what? Let me go get my numbers because something just ain't right. And I just wanted to follow back up with how we were saying, menopause will have you thinking you crazy. You having all these tests, and my numbers were showing that I wasn't quite in menopause. I had other things going on. And mind you, overall, I am a healthy person. I eat healthy because I love to eat clean. Is what I do. When I'm around my friends and I don't want to drink, I go find me some type of regular drink. So I'm, sitting there and enjoying myself, and I'm fine. But there were other things going on. And I just wanted to follow back up with that because y'all also go get your numbers checked. Go to the doctor. Make sure you do know and understand everything that's going on with your body. So when something isn't right, it's not right. And you know about it and you can do something about it. And working out is part of the way to do something about it. I just want to put that out there real quick.
So on the working out piece though, because for me, I didn't like working out. right? I just didn't like it. So I used to make the excuse, well, I don't want to get up and go to the gym, right? And so then I created a gym at home, treadmill, bike, weights, everything like that. And still would not get up and exercise until I had to make a decision to say, this is important. Like, you need to do this. So I had to be intentional about setting an alarm, right, to get up and work out. Now, I'm still not consistent because every now and then I prefer the sleep, but I'm not where I was, right? I'm better. So celebrate the wins, like celebrate the movement forward. If you fall off, get back up and try again. Don't just give up, right? So I may have a misstep or a day or two, but then I have to be like, okay, Janae, you need to get up, right? This is important. You need to make this decision. We can give excuses all day, but excuses are only good for the person that uses them. It does yourself no good to make excuses for why you can or can't. It's just that decision isn't important enough. And every morning, get up and say, this is important. This is important to my body. This is important for my health. This is important to our kids, right? If we can do something to be there a little bit longer, to enjoy them, to celebrate them, to walk out the different things, even in our purpose with God, right? He calls us to be healthy, to take care of our bodies. So those things become important. So I'm not consistent, but I am definitely better than where I was. For the first time when I travel now, I plan to go to the gym and use it, right? That was never something that I would do before. And even this last time that we traveled, my husband was like, hey, you got your workout clothes? And he goes with me.
Okay.
So
Yes.
we are being more intentional because it becomes more important. But when y'all say workout, because I have to find the things that work with me. I don't enjoy going outside. I'll take my vitamin D, but I don't enjoy going outside and working out, right? But working out could be dancing. It could be Zumba. So talk about for people who may say, hey, I don't like, and for some reason, y'all, sometimes when I get on the bike, every time my knee starts to bother me. I don't know if that's a mental thing or if that's actually a physical thing, but every time I get on the bike, I feel like my knee bothers. But what are ways that people can work out? So when they say, oh, I have a physical issue, or I don't like running, or like, what are some different ways that they can work out? And what can workout look like? It may not always be weight. So what's some options there?
Oh yeah, I agree. There's a million different ways you can work out, especially now in 2025. I mean, there's so many classes that they have: Pilates, yoga, they have swimming is a great exercise for low impact. They have, you can do everything that you can pretty much do. Um, like my mom does, she does, like, what is it, water aerobics. Especially when you have injuries and stuff like that, low impact exercises like water, everything can be done in the water. That's really, really great for injuries and stuff like that. And it's still a great workout. I mean, there, like you said, Zumba. And if you do like going outside, just the hiking is, I mean, there's so many different things. And nowadays you can create a class. They got twerk classes. They got, now you're line dancing, you're putting your boots on the ground. That's a workout at the end of the day. So, I mean, there's so many different things. And like you said, your workout does not have to look at my workout because I want to get in the gym and throw weights around. That's just my thing. Zumba is not my thing. I might do it just for like friends and, a little gathering and stuff, but I'm just not a dancer like that. So I want to be in the gym. I want to toss some weights around and do that. I like the hardcore stuff. But yeah, definitely find what makes you happy and what motivates you to get out of the bed and say, if it's Pilates for me, then get up and do Pilates and be consistent at that. But I also wanted to throw out there that you mentioned, like, if you have a bad day, everybody has a bad day. There's not one person that's going to sit here and say that I literally eat clean every single day of my life and don't crave a burger or don't stop at fast foods. But I will tell you this, though. I'm not, after I have that fast food, I know I'm not feeling good after that. I mean, I'm exhausted, and fast food is draining, and food is not supposed to drain you. Food is supposed to give you energy. So if you're wanting to take a nap after you eat, then that's not what you're supposed to. It's too heavy for your body. But back to, if you have a bad day, like you said, don't give up, because this lifestyle is always a start and stop. You're always going to be falling off and getting back on. So the thing is to make sure you just pick yourself back up, find something that's motivating you, and get back to it. Go ahead and meal prep. And I don't know about y'all, but meal prep is so important for me. I work from home. And if I don't meal prep just because I'm at home, it's the hardest thing to do, to try to work and find something to eat. That's where you go wrong at, because now you're grabbing chips. If you got kids, you got all kind of snacks in the house. So it's so many things that can go wrong. But like I said, living this lifestyle, I'm not going to be eating clean and healthy every single day of my life. But the thing is, that's my goal to strive for. So if I have a bad day, the next day or the next day after that, I'm gonna get back on track. So, but yeah, back to the exercise, and definitely find something that motivates you, whether it's Zumba, Pilates, whatever, because it's not gonna be the same. Your lifestyle is gonna look different from the next person's.
And here's a point I do want to make really quick. You cannot outwork a bad diet. I just want to put that out there and say it again. You cannot outwork a bad diet. The older we get, our metabolism decrease. You cannot go spend days in the gym, maybe like we used to back in the day. You could work out and eat whatever you want and still look the same. Matter of fact, sometimes you even start to look better. You have to make sure you're eating clean first. And if you invest into eating clean, even when you have those bad days, your body's going to look at the bad foods like, whoa, this is foreign. We got to work hard and get rid of this. You know, your body will work for you. If you invest into your body, I promise you, is like I said in the beginning of this, it is the best investment you can make. I had a client, she did not like working out and she didn't work out. The only walking that she did was when she came to work and going to people's desks to talk. That was it. But I prepped all of her meals and she lost 30 pounds just from eating clean. That's another way to be healthy. Of course, we do need to work out. It's heart healthy. Anything that's going to increase your heart rate is a way to work out. That's being heart healthy. But well, I won't say anything. Let me take that back. You want to make sure you're increasing your heart rate in the right way by being active. But just remember, the older we get, you can't just outwork a bad diet. You cannot go to the gym and work out for 4 hours and think you can come home and just eat whatever. And that's consistently what you do. You have to eat clean. It goes hand in hand. So I just wanted to make sure that, I know you all know this on this call, but when our listeners listen, that they do understand, like, you have to be active to some extent, but eating clean is most important. And if you eat clean the majority of the time, having a snack here, a donut here, a Pop Tart here, fried chicken wing there, it's not going to do damage.
All right. So
So,
I'm going to be that viewer or that person who is like, you know what? They sitting here talking about is eating clean and doing all that. Like, be really as far as eating clean. What does that look like? Like, these cliches of eating clean, like, what does that mean? What is that telling me that I just have to go and throw everything out of it and it's hard for me and I have to use all these apps? Or does it mean, no, I just need to slow down and read the ingredients of things? I
Keisha,
need
I
to
was going to
watch
ask
what I'm
the
putting
same
in my
thing.
food. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like what does that really mean when we're talking about eating clean?
Or being healthy. How do you cook? What do you buy in the grocery store? Like, what are some practical things?
Yeah,
Like,
and when you talking about how you cook, remember those nine cooks. We over here, right here.
or how you
So
shop, right? Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
like
what does
so,
that
like
mean? I was going to ask that. Yeah, what does
yeah.
that
So
mean to
come
be
on,
clean, to be
experts, tell us
healthy?
about that.
I know, Anita, you're real good when it comes to like the grocery store and stuff like that. And reading ingredients is so important. And I'm still learning as far as like the ingredients, because for me, eating clean for me is basically no fried foods, porks, and things. I'm cutting out the things that the basic things. I'm meal prepping. I'm eating every 2 to 3 hours. Right now, I don't feel like I have to eat super strict, super clean, and all of that, because I'm not trying to be no bodybuilder and no competition mode and stuff like that. So I'm doing like the fresh vegetables and um like I said, no fried foods. I'm switching out different things in my refrigerator, like from like regular oil, canola oil to like olive oil and grapeseed oil. Just making small changes as far as for the beginners, those just starting out. Start making the small switches out of your refrigerator. Get rid of the things or use up your things and start making small changes instead of just jumping right in. Because I feel like when you jump right into the lifestyle, it sets yourself up to fail, because you're like, this is overwhelming. But just reading the ingredients and start looking at, when you can't start understanding or even pronouncing the ingredients on the back of the labels, then that means it's not supposed to be there. And if it has a list of like 50 different ingredients, all these red dyes and all of the dyes, and you should already be like, okay, I don't even know what's in this stuff. All I wanted was some bread, and I got 50 million things in the bread, and it's supposed to be, wheat or something like that. So, but I know Anita is really good when it comes to like the nutrition, as far as like the details of how to shop in the grocery store and how to stay on the outside, because the middle is, so it does get real deep though.
Yeah.
But you
It
would say
does.
there's help out there
Yeah.
that can help you through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Sierra made some really good points. We will be here all day if I started going into just
Yeah.
give a few credentials. I have certifications in nutrition, personal training, have a degree in health and wellness. So I can have, unfortunately, diarrhea of the mouth when talking about this. But like she said, the outside perimeters of the grocery store, that's where you want to stay. That's where the clean stuff at. And if you looking at it, and here's the thing, I don't look at all the ingredients when I'm looking. If I flip something over and I see the ingredient list is like this long and the box is like this big in itself, that's way too many ingredients. There's too many additives, too many things. When you start off, it's more portion control. It's about doing things in moderation. It's not that you have to completely eliminate everything, but it's about making the right choices, making better choices. For example, instead of making a choice of peanut butter, maybe you switch to almond butter, or maybe you switch to a cleaner peanut butter. It's not about the fact that you have to go and read and be in the stores and looking at everything. And they honestly have an app now where I be in the grocery store scanning on my app, where there's
I do
different
too.
apps out there that will go through things for you, and it will rate things as good, bad, excellent, and you could tell from there. There's so much available at our fingertips to help us with that. Once again, you can get a health coach, you can get a nutritionist, or people who have certifications in nutritionists, a nutrition or registered dietitians to help you. But to do everything in moderation, you know, that's most important. You know, I think we all are, well, I won't say that. I think it's just important to understand you eat healthy. I won't even say clean, because some people can take the word clean and go to the extreme with it. You try to eat your healthiest version that of what it looks like for you. You go into it, you ease into it. You don't just go cold turkey, because we all know how things can happen when we go cold turkey. Um, and you build on it. You build on it. You don't immediately go in your kitchen and get rid of everything, go in your cabinets and get rid of it. That just doesn't make sense. In my house, we have different ways of eating. My sons eat one way, my husband eats one way, I eat one way, I feed my daughter one way. It's just you make those lifestyle changes accordingly. One is that's going to be conducive to you and how you need to operate. And of course, you have health coaches. You can reach out to me. You can reach out to Sierra. Like, reach out to those people. So yeah, it's a lot, but it doesn't have to be so convoluted to where you're like, you know what, this is too much. I ain't doing it.
So
one
too
of the things
much.
that I'm sorry.
I was just going to say too much. What about the financial part? Because some people say it's more expensive to eat healthy, right? The organic foods cost more. The fresh foods cost more. Some people are in food deserts. They don't even have access. They're getting their food from corner stores, right? They don't even have access to healthy food. So how does somebody eat healthy or eat clean when financially to them, they go in and some of the more healthier foods are not available, or it seems like the more organic foods cost a little bit more.
And is that organic thing, like, for real? Like, should we pay attention to that?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes some things seem to be like, oh, it's organic, so it's more expensive, but is it worth it?
Absolutely. Organic is a better choice. It's how it's grown. It's what's used and how it's grown. But what I will say is, so I think there's two different types of people. There's people who truly it is, financially it is just too expensive. And then we have people who say that it's too expensive, but yeah, they'll spend money on the unhealthy things, it's what makes
But the
sense.
unhealthy things is cheaper.
Here's the thing. If
Is it
you're
really?
right,
What
right.
toll is it taking on your body?
Exactly. Because when you got to start paying them healthcare bills, I guarantee that's going to be more expensive than if you were to take care of your body up front and do things more of a natural, holistic way of doing things, right? You don't have to get organic. Is organic a better option? It is. But you don't have to get organic. But here's another thing too. Once you slowly get into that space and you start exchanging things, one version versus the other, you start getting fruits. You just get fruits. Then you start switching to the organic. When you're starting to replenish, you don't see it as an extreme cost anymore, because you've kind of changed things out and it's not this new haul of all the healthy options. Is it a little more expensive? Yes, but you have to weigh, when do I need this, or when is it okay for this to be expensive for me up front while I'm shopping for it and I have control over it, or when it gets to the point where seemingly I don't have control and I might have to buy these medications. It's like Keisha mentioned before, the sacrifice. What sacrifices are we willing to make? But it can be a little more costly, but I think now we've adopted so many different ways of eating in the world, right? We have vegetarians, vegans, and those options. You have a female that I follow on TikTok, and she eats out. She's lost like 100 plus pounds, but she is showing people how to order when you eat out. I had a client who traveled, her husband traveled. They were in the Bahamas. She called me so that I could tell the people how to prepare her food so that she could stay on her meal plan. You could tell people how to, hey, don't use all those grease, don't use the butter. There are really good ways, but you truly have to make the investment in yourself. And that investment doesn't only consist of monetarily how you're spending for yourself, but it's the choices that you're making in everything that you do. You can't sacrifice in one space and then you also sacrifice everything that you have just done for yourself for temporary satisfaction. It has to be a commitment. And being committed doesn't mean you're going to be 100% every time. Being consistent don't mean it's 100%. It means that you're consistently showing up for yourself in the best way that you can, being the best version as much as possible. Like Sierra said, there's going to be bad days. I have bad days where a cookie sounds way more than some egg whites or some chicken breast, or you know what I'm saying? Like, there are those days. And here's the thing, sometimes our brain needs that it fast cortisol raise, like the dopamine. We need that sometimes, right? It's okay. We have to know our bodies and listen to them. Sometimes a cookie gets me through the day and it was good. And tomorrow I'm going to just keep on. Oh, one really important thing I want to mention. If you eat bad one day, don't starve yourself the next day. That is not how you conquer. You just get back on a plan. You just get back to eating clean. If you want to do an extra workout, walk an extra mile, yes, but do not starve yourself thinking that that's going to supplement for you eating bad. You just got to get back on it and keep going.
So I have a question. When it comes to eating, I hear it a lot. You have to eat between 2 or 3 hours to speed up your metabolism. But I'm also hearing people saying, I intermittent fasting and I'm not going to eat for 24 hours or whatever. And they do that. So how do we know like which eating habit is the best way? And is it really good to do the intermittent fasting?
So go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Anita. Go ahead.
Okay. Intermittent fasting is good. I think the problem is where people are like, I'm not seeing these results or it's not working for me. There's ways to do it. It's important to research and understand and know exactly what you're getting into, because some people think that a lot of people feel like I mentioned before, like going without eating, which is a form of starvation, which is how it's a form of being malnourished. That is not conducive to your body. Our body does heal, and when we're in a state of intermittent fasting, there's some really good benefits to it. But the advice I would give is for people to do research, understand and know exactly what they're getting into before they do it. I don't want to go too deep into it, but I'll give that. Understand and know it, and know that it is good and that different things work for different people. You also have to understand medically what's going on with your body, if it is going to be conducive for you to do or not. So it's just really important to know what you're doing. But have the benefits from it been good? Yes, it has.
I would say consult a nutritionist, consult a physician, because what may work with you may not work with somebody else because of your body type, your makeup, there may be some things that are going on, what you may have been diagnosed with that will make something counterproductive when you do one thing for another. And so I think, especially with social media, we're in this world where you see somebody do something and we're like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then you're frustrated because it doesn't work for you, but you have a different body type. You have a different makeup. There's so many other factors that play into that. I wanted to ask one more question, or kind of bring up one more thing around, kind of working in the space of, previously working in the space of like counseling and mental health. I don't think people realize how much what you eat sometimes can be tied to your mental health. Or like vitamin D, right, can affect your mood. Sugar, caffeine, all these things. When I used to do intakes for people, I used to ask them, like, what's your sleep schedule, right? How much sugar do you eat? Do you drink caffeine? You know, I would check their vitamin D levels. And so many of those things influence. And sometimes they would be thinking it was something else. And it really came down to their body was depleted of something, or they were being fed the wrong things. When anybody knows, when you're exhausted and you're running on empty, right, it can manifest in so many ways, and you're starting to think it's something else. And the reality is you're just tired. You're tired. So I think also we talked about the physical, we talked about, the eating, making sure your body is good, but that is also about the mental health part of it. That's a piece too that so many people don't realize, that it's a whole thing.
It's a whole package. Yeah.
A whole thing.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys know I'm always looking for a way to have fun, ask a funny question, something related to the rewarding piece to it to kind of bring it down and not as stressful. So I would say, Sierra, I have a question for you. How do you advise clients to incentivize themselves, keep themselves encouraged? Like for me, what I didn't realize is when I started getting into it, I love workout clothes. And so it was like, oh, I'm gonna buy these tights, and oh, it's a matching pair of shoes over there. Yeah, I understand. I'm only going to be in the gym 1 hour,
Yeah.
but in that hour, I'm doing this for me, and so I'm gonna match. And if I can find some gloves that could go with it, let's go. What are ways where you advise clients and just people you're talking to how to incentivize yourself and keep yourself encouraged to continue to do this thing, to remind themselves they're worth it?
Yeah, exactly what you just mentioned, as far as like treat yourself with a new bag, a new purse, new workout clothes. And I do feel like with the mental space, when you start seeing those results and you walk past the mirror and you be like, girl, now it's time to change. You want to change your whole wardrobe. Those are the rewards. Like I have a lot of clients where we celebrate them, and always celebrate the small wins. Each week, celebrate the small wins, whether it's it doesn't even have to be a scale win, because I think we get so caught up in the scale, and we want to be like, the scale's not moving. Well, did you meal prep the entire week? Celebrate that. Did you drink your gallon of water? Did you hit the gym? Did you get your steps in? Celebrate those small things, and don't look for other people to celebrate you all the time. Celebrate yourself, because like you said, you'll start feeling good, and that it's a whole package deal. And when you start seeing those results, you want to do more. The results in itself is what's gonna motivate you, because once you start being able to get into those jeans that you couldn't fit a year ago, you're like, okay, now it's time to change up. But yeah, I always like to buy new clothes myself and get in the gym and wear something cute, or take myself out. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do get into the fitness world and you start making this plan, you sacrifice a lot of things, and sometimes it's going to be like your social life is not there anymore. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when you start losing those results, take yourself out so that people can see what you look like. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things that, and when people start seeing you and they're like, dang girl, what you doing? You look good. Those are also the things that's going to keep you motivated and things like that. So buy yourself something, treat yourself, even if it is a cheap meal, take yourself to a restaurant. But I feel like we miss and we skip celebrating the small wins each week, or just whatever, and we focus on the scale so much that the scale can make or break a person at the end of the day. And it doesn't. I see it done every single day, because she's like, I've been in the gym every day this week, and the scale's not budging, the scale's not moving. Well, let's focus on the things that are working, the things that you are doing. Let's celebrate those things, and then next thing you know, when you get back on the scale, it is gonna change. It will fall into place. But you're absolutely right. Just celebrating yourself, buying a new outfit, buying a new purse. But those are the things that I think we as women, we enjoy to do to help keep us motivated.
And don't forget the clearance section.
Right.
Because we're gonna be talking about financials, so we want you to buy that new purse or that new outfit, but maybe make sure it's
on a budget though.
Yeah.
That is so funny. Keisha, that was my thing, buying a new pair of shoes. I was about walking pigeon-toed in the gym when I had on a new pair of fresh shoes, because I was feeling good. I was waiting for somebody to
sit
look
down.
at my feet. Right. What you say? Oh, you like my shoes? Y'all, this has been such a great conversation. Sierra, I have truly enjoyed you being a part of the conversation. And we're glad you came. You are welcome to come back when we talk about this again.
Yes,
Um,
ma'am.
ladies, if y'all don't have any other questions for Sierra, I think we can wrap this episode up. Sierra, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sierra, please tell everybody about your business so that they can know how to get in touch with you. Accountability.
Well, thank you so much, you guys, for having me. I really enjoyed myself. This was amazing. So you can find me on social media, _ the fitness doll. Like I said, I have a Facebook and Instagram of community of women that I plug you guys in to just kind of help teach you guys how to find the balance while living the lifestyle. So definitely _ the fitness doll. Reach out to me on Facebook, Sierra Walker, and I'm all over the platform. So thank you guys so much for having me, and I'll see you guys soon.
Spell your
Thank
name, please.
Thank
Spell
you.
Sierra.
Oh, yeah, spell your name. Please.
Sierra. Oh, Sierra, Cierra, Walker, Walker. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.